What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like Caitlin Clark just dropped a new Nike video. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Indy. Let's get it. Let's go. Nike is definitely taking their time when releasing some of this Caitlin Clark content, man. We know ever since the Super Bowl, we've been getting a little Caitlin Clark content here and there. They've been putting up banners all over the United States. And I'm here to tell you, Nike made it their due diligence to drop another Caitlin Clark video. Now, Caitlin Clark speaks about, some of her challenges she has faced just throughout her basketball career. She talked about stuff outside of basketball as well in this Nike video. And I'm done talking, man. Let's get right into this content. Let's drop the video, roll the footage.
Your career, you got to match up against other Nike hoopers. Do you have a favorite matchup?
You're gonna get me in trouble.
So this is pretty cool right
Honestly,
here.
I'll just say DT because she's such an icon in our sport and has been in the game for so long. Getting to share the court with her was pretty fun, and you just see her competitive spirit. Even though you're not on her team, you can just feel it as a competitor. I think I've hated losing even before I can remember. When I was growing up, all I did was cry when I lost. But it upset my parents a lot. My dad was my first coach, so he had to deal with me crying. So the more I won, the less crying there was. From a very young age, because no matter what I did, whether I was playing a sport or playing a board game or was at school, I wanted to win. I feel like that was always my mindset, and that hasn't really changed. Fortnite. I used to play video games a good amount in college with my friends, especially over Christmas break when you just have basketball and you're the only people on campus. We'd go to practice, we'd go eat, and then we'd just game all day. But that's kind of stopped ever since I moved out of Iowa City and I moved to Indianapolis. I haven't been playing the game as much, but I'm getting back on the grind.
The footage that they have released there, right? And they captioned it, "We know Caitlin Clark game, but some facts may surprise you." Yeah, man. So as y'all can see there, Caitlin Clark is definitely going viral, man. Shout out to her. And anytime we get some new Caitlin Clark content, man, your boy John Liquidator is going to try to do my best to stay on top of it, man. Moving on to another story, so that there has been a lot of people still talking about this pay gap for Caitlin Clark and other WNBA stars. None other than Elle Duncan weighs in on a situation. It's been reported that WNBA analyst Elle Duncan makes her feelings clear on Caitlin Clark agent comments with this whole pay gap situation. WNBA reached new heights in 2024, and one of the reasons behind the league's growing popularity was undoubtedly rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. Fans from around the nation and the globe tuned in to see the Iowa native top women players in the world, and the Indiana guard did not disappoint, breaking a handful of records in her first year alone. Clark was named Time Magazine 2024 Athlete of the Year and has developed into a global superstar. Yet her salary remains shockingly low in comparison to other professional athletes around the nation, and especially her male counterparts in the NBA. Well, on Monday, her agent, Erin Kane, spoke to ESPN about the player's $78,000 2025 WNBA salary. Now, we reacted to that earlier this week, and telling you right now, man, it was not a good response. A lot of people was kind of mad at Erin Kane, man, and I don't know, man. I kind of left my feelings out of that whole situation. But Elle Duncan did speak about this, and let's check out what she had to say. Let's roll the footage, man.
We saw Caitlin Clark's agent basically talking about what's fair monetarily. And she basically said, will Caitlin Clark ever be paid by the W what she's really worth to that league? She said it's not possible. And this is the same agent that also has Nafisa Collier, Erika Ogunbowale, and some other, prominent athletes under Excel Sports Management. I know there were some people bristling at that, on social media. She's so right. She's 100% right. Caitlin Clark's, 100%. The Clarkonomics of it all, which our colleague Deb Antonelli dubbed a couple of years ago, which was so astute. For Iowa alone, they believe that she's generated over $85 million in revenue just for Iowa. The impact of what she's been able to do in Indiana, and the Fever Games and then the W as a whole, of course, that names like her and Angel Reese, like, and this next crop of stars, and then the current ones as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they lent themselves to this new $1 billion valuation that the W, or $200 million valuation that the W ended up getting. Like, all of these things come into play, but she's right. You're never going to be able to pay these women what they're worth, in particular, Caitlin Clark, when you talk about all of the economy that she has spurred just by being Caitlin Clark. And what's interesting is that Cameron Brink on her podcast that she does with Steph Curry's sister said the same thing. You know, Cameron Brink as a rookie makes $75,000 a year on the Sparks. And she was basically saying, which also had people upset because people get upset about everything. She was saying, like, she thinks that's a solid salary, right? Like, you know, would she wish that it would be more? Yes. But she acknowledged, are we ever going to get to the place where we're getting paid as much as the NBA players? I don't think so. She's like, maybe hopefully in 30 years from now. But do I ever think we're going to be doing these $45-50 million contracts, $50 a year that we're seeing with, I mean, you're talking about guys like Paul George making $50 million a year and he can't get on the court. Are we ever going to see that in the WNBA? God, I'm hopeful. But I think she's right in that it's going to take a really, really long time to get there. Now, certainly they can help bridge that by getting those salaries up with this next CBA. But it's true. It's unfair in many ways, but it's also just the realistic place of where we're at. This is a league that's about 26, 27 years old, continuing to grow. And we're watching just exponential growth, especially over the last couple of years. But it's still going to take time to get there. And media rights is a huge part of that. Revenue sharing, like all of these things that are coming into play. But she's right. Like, they're never going to be able to give Caitlin Clark the money that she deserves, or any of these players for that matter.
Yeah, the Cleveland being awarded, you know, a WNBA franchise, and Dan Gilbert paying $250 million for the rights to it, which was a new record, I think, that you alluded to, is just sort of an indication of the effect of this new crop of players that people want to be a part of and pay attention to. Obviously, we have the expansion franchises that are going to be making a debut this year, next year as well. But
so that was L. Duncan winning on his pay compensation. I want to know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section right now. Keep them bells on because you know I'm going to bring you news. And until next time, man, shake the haters off. I'm out of here. Peace out. Shake the haters off.